Good morning. This is Justin Sorensen with the Justin Sorensen Allstate Agency here in Muncie, Indiana. Today I want to talk about a topic that's really important on your car insurance, and that is bodily injury liability insurance. So we're going to talk just for a couple minutes here about what that is, what that covers, and why it's important to have that coverage. So here on my screen you can see, if you just do a search on allstate.com and look up bodily injury liability, you'll be able to pull up this page here. Basically, what bodily injury liability covers is if you're in a car accident and you injure somebody else, or there's damages that you cause to them personally, this is what's going to pay for those. Let's say, for example, this morning I was sitting at an intersection and I watched somebody run a red light. Since that person ran the red light, if they hit somebody else and injure them, they're going to be responsible for paying for their medical bills, if there's an ambulance run, if that person misses time off of work, if they end up having to go to court, there's going to be legal fees, all kinds of things are going to start to pile up if that accident ends up being very severe. So all of that falls underneath your bodily injury limits, bodily injury liability. So as we look here at the page, again, it's going to cover medical expenses. It's going to cover lost income compensation. Again, if the person you hit can't work, they aren't able to work, they're going to lose income, you're responsible for paying that back. There could be legal fees associated. All those types of things are going to fall underneath this. So the most common things we see are in car accidents that you cause somebody else to have to go to the doctor or to the hospital for a period of time. All those bills, the ambulance run, everything needs to be paid by your bodily injury liability. So then the next question is, well, how much bodily injury liability do I need to carry? We always recommend you carry as much as you can. If there's ever a judgment against you, you don't want to have to pay any of those expenses out of your pocket. They can garnish your wages. They can take money out of your checking account, savings account. They can use retirement funds. Anything that's an asset to you potentially could be used to have to repay them in an accident. And bodily injury liability, it's so cheap to carry in relation to how much it can pay out. So in the state of Indiana, there is a minimum that you have to carry, and that's $25,000 per person or $50,000 per accident. That's not going to go very far if there's medical bills, if there's anything that happens in a very bad accident. So again, the state minimum is $25.50. We're going to recommend that you carry we're going to recommend you carry as much as you can. At a bare minimum, you want to make sure you have enough to cover your assets. So if you go through and sum up all of your assets, including considering the fact that they could garnish your wages, you want to include that as well. So depending on how long you have left to work, you want to take that into consideration. I'm going to pull over a copy of my own personal declaration page over here real quick, just so you can see exactly what I'm talking about. Here underneath automobile liability insurance, the first line is bodily injury. So you'll see right here that on my policy, I have it set up to cover $250,000 per person, or a total of $500,000 for the accident. So if I'm in an accident, my car insurance is going to pay as much as up to $250,000 in bills for the other person that I injure, or up to a total of $500,000 for the accident. And so that's enough to get us started. Now, in addition to this, I also carry something called a personal umbrella policy, but that's a discussion for another video. But for these purposes, I've got $250,000 per person, $500,000 per accident. If you got anything less than that, or especially if you have assets that come close to that, or if you have a long time left to work still, again, we don't want your wages to get garnished. We need to have a discussion and talk about making sure we raise those to the proper limits for you. Thanks. I hope you have a good rest of the day, and I'll look forward to talking to you guys tomorrow.